Those who cannot change their minds cannot change anything. This is Success with Srini.
If you have ever gone through this feeling within which you felt that, he or she has it, I want it. You see that feeling? Then today's podcast episode is for you. Welcome back to Success with Srini. This feeling or this emotion is called envy. And I have done multiple podcasts here talking about this specific feeling, this specific emotion. And in the self-improvement world, we teach people not to be envious, not to be jealous. It's seen as negative. So if you are a success-driven individual, success-minded individual, or success-pursuing individual, then you shouldn't be envious, you shouldn't be jealous. You need to have higher sense of compassion, more understanding, deep exploration and all that. And these words, enviousness and jealousy, they don't have space. But I want to take a different approach today on the podcast. And I want to share with you and show you proof and give you some data and draw some analogy here that it's okay to be envious. It's okay to be envious. Well, I want to start out by sharing with you a backstory. This is me. Back in year 2000, 2001, if I would see somebody who is jealous of what I had then, I wouldn't talk to them. Or I see that somebody is envious of me, I wouldn't talk to them. It's a direct clash with my values. And I have known people, some of my close friends, who are extremely successful. They have more money in terms of accounts, more assets in terms of numbers, all that. And they still are envious of me. And for some reason, they think that they lack something that I have, which I keep telling them I do not. You have more in every sphere of life. I do not. I keep driving that point, but somehow they don't get it. And back in the day, I used to avoid them. But since 2009 and 10, and here we are, year 2022, July 15th morning, I'm recording this. These days, for the last, 10, 12 years, I have been more accommodating, having great conversations, and have even deeper bond with these friends of mine. And I'll tell you why this happened and why this should happen in your life and how this shift happened in me. So I used to avoid them back in the day. And I wanted to avoid them because they're not thinking good of me. And they're negative influence on me. So I should stay away from them. Now, later on, I shifted my position on this. And I think now that it's okay, I should go spend more time with them and I interact with them, even knowing that they're very envious of me. And I don't know why they are, as I said. So there is no specific data I have. But they are, and they keep telling other friends about me that he has something that we do not have. And the reason why I spend time with these people, by the way, I love these friends and I have absolutely no grudges against them. The reason why I spend time with them and talk to them is because through them, I come to know who else they are envious of. You see that? So I know now that if my friend is envious of me that I drive a Ferrari, I don't, but I'm giving an example. Chances are my friend is also envious of some other people, some of our common friends or some other people who have better and bigger things than Ferrari. So when I talk to this friend, he keeps talking about other people and other things that they have that he wants to achieve and he wants to get. That gives me a meter. That gives me that I still need to do more and achieve more. At that point, I'm not envious of my friend. I'm looking at other people who are much more successful and have more things that I want to accumulate. I'll give you one thing that I'm very envious about. This is my dark secret. Every time I see somebody who has a better representation of some concept that I represent, every time I see somebody who has more knowledge, more depth, more references, more experience, more know-how, my mind goes like this. I'm like, okay, I need to do something about this. Okay? I'm not jealous. See, the difference between enviousness and jealousy is enviousness is I also want what you have. But jealousy is that now that I do not have what you have, I don't want you to have. So I will come and destroy what you have. Okay? So I am envious that somebody has a better representation, more knowledge and more, specifically within the knowledge front. So and for that, the only way I can bridge the gap is that I come and do prepare myself better. I read more. I apply myself more. I need to, increase my positioning, my understanding, so that I can, if not exceed somebody, but at least match up. That is my thinking. It's actually a positive thing. So the point here is, if you're envy of something, of somebody, that they have something, it's okay. And this shift happened for me in 2010 when I came across a book. This book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, by Michael Satin. Michael Satin wrote this book, 666 Ways to Guarantee Success in the Workplace. Incredible book. In this book, in the page 110, I do not know what edition it is now, talks about principle number 1. It says, look around and see what you are missing. And he explains this concept. And this concept I read, and it stayed in my mind. And ever since I applied in every situation, and I'm more wealthier because of this concept. He says something like this. I'm going to read this, okay? At first sight, envy would seem to be easy to recognize and utilize. It's what you feel when you see someone having a good time and you want some too. Well, true, but you might be missing something. Far better to keep your eyes open and scout about specifically for things to covet. You will then find there is a lot more than you thought, and some of it much better than you ever dreamed of. So here is the analogy of this. A guy riding a bicycle notices his friend driving a little Japanese car. He wants one too. Error. He should have stopped and wondered what his friend was envying and had a look at what else was on the road. Then he would target his envy on the owner of the chauffeur-driven limousine. The message is this: raise your sights and aim for the top. Even when you have got the limo, don't stop looking. The next guy has got an exclusive jet, and so on. Okay, so you get the idea now. I am curious to meet people who are envious and jealous of me, so that I get to hear about everybody else from them. From them, I get to hear about everybody else. Then I raise my meter, I raise my bar, and go after bigger things. Enviousness is good, not jealousy. Okay, that's all for now. Hopefully today's podcast episode is helpful. It gives you a different frame to look at life, gives you a different way to look at people. Hopefully. That's all for now. Have a wonderful Friday, and I will catch up with you as early as tomorrow. Thank you.